Hey, have you heard about the new hands-free law in South Carolina? Doesn't kick in for a couple days, so I'm still good. Also, law enforcement are exempt under certain circumstances. Like if I see a guy. So it's August 26th, 2025, and last night you went to pre-calculus. Well, you were having trouble with pre-calculus, and you went to calculus, or I guess math tutoring. I'm assuming it was math tutoring in general for people who are having a hard time with math, and I think that was really good. I'm glad you did that. And then sounds like from the quick conversation we had today, you had some positive momentum in the area of robotics with the tutor you worked with. So that was super awesome of her. And yeah, just in general, it sounds like you got a whole different perspective on how things are going to progress by going and getting some help. So I'm very proud of you for doing that, and hopefully that kind of sets you up for the next step here. I know the robotics thing. Your mama and I were having another conversation about robotics last night. We were talking about how the teacher that you're dealing with isn't necessarily. I'm watching somebody run on the wrong side of the road, which is going to get them killed. Stupid. Don't run on the wrong side. You're supposed to run facing traffic. So basically, if cars are driving on the right, you run on the left. Anyways, yeah, going and getting some help is a good thing. Hopefully that sets up your perspective. Your mom and I were talking about robotics last night, and this is, it's a challenge for you, and it's a challenge for us, because as parents, we want to jump in and just figure out a way to help you and save the problem and get rid of it and all that kind of stuff. And your mom and I were saying last night, with the teacher not being, as available and a little bit difficult to get anything from, we kind of feel like she isn't teaching, she's putting you in front of some computers, and then expecting other kids, like tutoring and stuff like that, to help you out, is what it kind of seems like. And that's unfortunate, considering it's such a high level school. And we're gonna let you get through that class. I don't want to be disruptive while you're trying to go through, but I assure you that will reflect in our position on like how when we were asked later on, tell us what you think. I'm gonna have something to say about that. But you're in a school setting where I'm sure there's probably quite a few teachers who are amazing. There's some that are better than average. There's probably going to be a few that are average at best. So she's probably got a ton of knowledge, and maybe it's about forming the right kind of relationship with her. You're very good at building relationships with people, even difficult people. So we'll just see how that progresses. But last night, talking about it, your mom and I were talking about, do we just tell her to go ahead and drop the class? And then I was realizing that it was Tuesday today, which today is supposed to be the day you can go to engineer tutoring, and it sounds like that girl who you were getting help in robotics from is a tutor in engineering. So when you combine the fact that you should be able to get some help, and this is a real challenge, I am so afraid to tell you, yeah, just drop the class. It's just an elective, like your mom and I were talking about, because ultimately it's like these challenges are the ones that are gonna, they're gonna make or break you to some degree. Because every time you go into a situation where the instructor or the teacher isn't really giving you everything you need, you're gonna have to figure out in life how to go ahead and get what you need anyways, if it's something you want. And that could be anything. It could be swimming when you were first starting off, guitar. It could be a future skill you want to learn. There are people who are really good instructors, really good teachers. There are other people who are at mediocre at best. And I do a lot of instructing. I like to think that I'm good at meeting people at their level and finding what their needs are. Some people need a lot of correction. Other people, they're mediocre performers at best. So if I have a mediocre performer, for instance, when I'm teaching defensive tactics, if I've got somebody who is putting about 30% of effort in, and they're really not looking to get the results out of it. Like they're just wanting to get through the day. They don't, like, it's clear they don't want to really get good at what they're doing and have an understanding of it. They're truly just trying to like get through that class. I'm gonna give them minimal correction. I'm gonna give them a thumbs up when they get it 50%, because that's all they're looking for. 50% was higher than they were hoping for. I'm not gonna tell them, hey, your hand placement here would make make it work better, or here's what you can do to offset and get the win. I'm just gonna let them figure it out best they can. And you know, I want to meet them where they are, though. If I've got somebody who really wants to perform but they're just not getting it, I'm gonna try to help them out. I'm gonna get down on the floor with them. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. This teacher that you're dealing with is just not a get down on the floor with them kind of person. Instead, what she's gonna do is say, well, why don't you go work with such and such because they're really strong in it, and basically let the students become the teachers, which is a bad idea. But you got to figure these things out. You are figuring it out. I think you'll get a lot of growth out of pushing through the class, so that's why I think it's so important to go through it. And what I don't want you to think, I mean, yeah, we were worried about you, and we will worry about you when you're struggling with something, but that's not a sign of us thinking you can't do it. We're very confident in your ability to do anything that you really push yourself to do. But we also know that sometimes it's hard, especially when you're in it, it's hard to see all the options that are available to you. So if we're saying, hey, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you try this? Did you talk to this person? Did you ask this question? It's not a matter of us being upset with you. I'm not mad at you. I'm not disappointed in you. Where I would get disappointed is if I say, I want you to go and do these 3 things, and you come back and you're like, yeah, I didn't do them at all. I didn't even try. That's a whole different thing than a missed opportunity. Like yesterday I was telling you, you were right there in the cafeteria with her or whatever. You saw the girl. Why didn't you ask her about robotics then? That's just a missed opportunity is all it is. And one that if I clue you in on it the next time that you need something and you see somebody, you might think to yourself, you know what, I'm gonna seize this moment right now, because I may not see them later, or they may be busy later and they've already allotted their time to something. So I'm definitely not upset with you for missed opportunities, but we've got experience, we've got experience, and we've got time doing stuff. We've been out there doing it. So that's it. We've got experience, we have knowledge we can pass on. So if I have the experience to tell you, hey, listen, in my experience, if you don't do this, this, and this, then you'll get these results. Well, then that's just trying to keep you from missing out on what you need. So that's all I got today, baby. Little bits of thoughts for you. I love you, and I will hopefully talk to you at some point today.